The ongoing migrant crisis in Myanmar's state of Rakhine reportedly revolves around the country's oil reserves and international Islamic terror groups. One America's Kristian Rouz reports.
Recent reports detail the role of globalist organizations and international Islamic terror groups in the ongoing migrant crisis in Myanmar. More than 600,000 Rohingya Muslims left their homes after Myanmar authorities launched a counter-terrorism operation in the country's Rakhine state. This after radical Islamic terrorists of the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, known as ARSA, attacked 3 government checkpoints in Rakhine on the Bangladeshi border, killing 9 officers back in 2016.
They are not only destroying Buddhist homes, but also Muslim houses. I don't want all the terrorist groups. This is a war about the occupation of the territory. They are killing all the people they see and destroying all the houses they see.
The Rohingya crisis is a multidimensional process which involves Chinese energy projects in Rakhine and decades-long tensions between the local Muslims and Buddhists. Back in 2013, China launched its first energy development project in Myanmar, building oil and gas pipelines between Rakhine State, where the Rohingya reside, and China's Yunnan province. While Rakhine has major offshore oil and natural gas reserves, an influx of Chinese investment brought a rise of disruptive Islamic terror in the region.
On the Chinese side, China's long been concerned that the majority of its oil imports come through the Strait of Malacca, and that a foreign navy, say the U.S. Navy, in a conflict situation, could use that narrow strait to choke off oil imports into China.
According to reports from the International Crisis Group, the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army was founded back in 2013 by a Pakistani national, Atta Ullah, who also has ties to Saudi Arabia. The group wages a war of Islamic terror against Myanmar's government and is reportedly directed and financed by international Islamic terror groups and their affiliates based in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. According to the Myanmar government, ARSA is responsible for murders and kidnappings of non-Muslim residents of Rakhine, as well as government officials.
Myanmar has been trying to, over the last 5 years, bring to an end this ethnic insurgency that has plagued its periphery for the last 70 years. And what they want from China is some assistance bringing those insurgencies to an end.
China is heavily dependent on energy imports, and its investment in Myanmar is a move to diversify China's sources of oil and gas. Experts say the rise of Islamic terror in Rakhine could hamper the economic cooperation between China and Myanmar and isolate Myanmar from Muslim countries throughout Southeast Asia, primarily Indonesia and Malaysia. Moreover, the renowned globalist George Soros has reportedly played a role in the Rakhine crisis. Soros has been a member of U.S. Task Force on Burma since 2003, advocating interests of the international community and major global corporations in the region. China's development of oil and natural gas infrastructure in Rakhine could lower the country's dependence on energy imports from the Middle East. The new pipeline brings down energy costs for China, hampering the revenues of the global oil corporations.
It shortened the distance of transportation of crude oil and gas if we originally had to go through the Malacca Strait. So this will provide a great facility not only to Myanmar but equally important to China's southwestern part of China.
Subsequently, globalist bureaucrats of the UN were quick to condemn Myanmar's counter-terrorism operation in Rakhine, a decision encouraging Islamic terrorists of ARSA.
It's also true that political and economic power remains mostly concentrated in the hands of a privileged few who monopolize the revenue from Burma's abundant natural resources.
As the violence in Rakhine continues, ARSA radicals are winning the war for the hearts and minds of local Muslims and could expand the scope of its activities to the point where ARSA will pose a threat to U.S. national security. Kristian Rouz, One American News.